Hi everyone and welcome. I am so glad that you are here. Now I'm telling you, by the end of this presentation, you're going to see your relationships completely different. This model has helped so many people who are in existing relationships to strengthen them, or for others who have gotten out of toxic relationships to unpack why things went wrong and what to look for in the future so that they can actually get the love that they are desiring. Now, it doesn't just work for romantic relationships, it also works for friendships. So you can see what's going on. This will help you in so many different ways, and I can't wait to jump in. But before we do, I want to talk to you a little bit about relationships. Now, there are a few areas in our lives that can bring us so much pleasure and so much pain, and there's the potential for both. And sometimes we have relationships that are really wonderful that still make us weave back and forth between pleasure and pain. Now, I want to lessen the pain and I want to help you with your relationships. I struggled for the longest time with relationships, and in particular, it was romantic relationships. I experienced so much pain, so much drama. I felt like I was always wasting my time with people that didn't really value me, and we weren't really headed in the same directions. So I would get attached, and then I would feel like it's gonna be hard to get out of this situation. But then I started to realize, wow, there's some patterns here. So I decided as a life coach and a researcher that I was going to dive into relationships with as much enthusiasm, curiosity, and excitement as I did with my career, my fitness, and other areas of my life. So that is how this came to be. Because I struggled so much, I created this model, the 5D love model for relationships. And I'm telling you, once you learn this, you will never see your relationships the same. Because when you understand how to evaluate your friendships, how to evaluate your past relationships or your current relationship and strengthen it, you are going to be so much better off. And if you're not currently in a relationship, or you meet somebody in the future, you're gonna know what to look out for so that you don't get caught in the emotional swirl of lust and passion and continue to just go down this path of destruction, because it is chaotic out there. It can feel like a battlefield. Like Pat Benatar says, love is a battlefield. It can feel like that. And I wanna help you navigate it with strength, with grace, and dignity. Because when you love yourself and you understand what to look out for, you're going to do the thing that's best for you. And the thing that's best for you is also best for them. So the people that come into our lives, if we are latching on to something that isn't healthy for us, it's not healthy for them either. With all that said, the last thing I want to ask you to do right here in this moment is to prepare your own energy. Now, the energy we bring into a room with us is powerful. Have you ever met somebody and the moment you met them, you just loved their vibe? That's their vibration. It's their vibrational state, which means it's their energy. And if we're preparing our own energy, we're going to have more fun in our lives. We're going to enjoy even learning. Like something like this, you're going to enjoy this so much more if you prepare your energy with how you want to feel as we go through this process. Now, I don't know what you're going through in your life currently in this moment, but I want to ask you to just release that from your consciousness right now. Just release anything that's going on. Just be here now, and let's have some fun with this, because this is going to change everything. And you're not going to have to worry about relationships as much in the future, because you're going to know what to look out for and how to strengthen them. Let's get into that energy right now. Let's shake our bodies. Let's really feel good here in this moment as I go through this with you, because I want you to be as fired up and excited for your future relationships, for your current relationships, and to even understand what happened in the past, because the past and facing your truth will help prepare you for an amazing future. Drum roll, please. All right, that was kind of weak. I'm gonna need your help on this, all right? I want you to hit your coffee table, hit your knee, hit your desk. Just don't hurt anybody. But let's do this, all right? On 3, 2, 1. Woo! All right. Come a little closer. A little closer. There you go. All right. So the first D in the model is desired. We're gonna go through this from a romantic point of view first, but this can be applied to friendships. We all desire different things in relationships, and it's good for us to know what those motives are and what's driving that passion, that curiosity, that excitement, that wanting to hang out more and get to know this person or wanting to spend your time with this person. So desired is the first D in the love model. All right. The second one is delighted. How delighted are you to spend time with this person? Do you light up when you get a text from them or, they call you out of the blue? So delighted is also when you're spending time with them. Are they playful? Are they fun? Do you feel playful? Do you feel fun? The next D is dependability. Can you really count on this person to show up for you? Do they do what they say they're going to do? Are they somebody that you can lean on when times get tough? This is dependability. This is the yang energy to delighted's yin energy, which is light and playful and fun. Dependability is stable. It's something that we can really trust. The next D is dreams. Do we share a similar vision for the future? Do we want the same things? When you think about relationships, a lot of times people, when they're first starting out in a relationship, they're just focused on the desire section, right? How much am I attracted to this person? Am I lustful for them? Do I want them? It's more the physical, carnal, kind of earthbound. This area is an area we really should focus on in the beginning of relationships. Before we get caught in the swirl of emotions, we need to know if we actually want the same things for the future. Otherwise, it's just gonna be a little fling, right? So knowing the dreams, knowing what you really want, do you want kids? Do you wanna own your own home? Do you wanna have your own business? Do you want a partner that's going to provide for the family? Or do you want somebody that's gonna stay home with the kids and make sure the house is running well? We wanna know what these things are early on so that we don't waste other people's time. Now that's something that I see over and over again. People get into relationships really quick because they got the passion and maybe they're delighted by the person, but they don't maybe have the dependability or they don't share the same vision for the future. You can have all of these areas working and just have one area not working, and it can cause a lot of pain. If you're desired by someone and you're delighted by them, that can be great in lust. So if you're just like, ooh, this person's hot, I'm really into this person, and I'm feeling good when I'm with them, and I feel like I desire them, they desire me, boom, you got lust. Dependability and desirable, you got a great lover. You have somebody you can trust, you can count on, but you also are passionate for them. That is great when it comes to having a lover. Dependability and dreams. That can be great for a partner. So you share the same vision and you are dependable. Maybe you're great at raising children together. But if you're not feeling desired anymore and you're not really feeling delighted, that's going to take its toll on your relationship as well. But you might still make a great partner. And when it comes to partnerships outside of romantic relationships, dependability and dreams, a shared vision, and somebody that you can trust, that can form a great partnership in a working relationship. Now, dreams and delighted, that makes a great friend. Now, if you've ever thought about this, if you have a shared vision and shared goals and things that excite you and you enjoy, hobbies that you have in common, and you're delighted by the person, a lot of times those people make great friends. I want to say this, just because two of these things might be working really well in any of these areas, you really want to have all of them ideally working together, because that's going to strengthen the depth of your relationship. And that's what we're all really truly wanting. We want those deep, meaningful relationships. Otherwise you wouldn't be watching this. If you just wanted shallow, hollow things, if you just wanted to play in lust or have like lovers, that would be very shallow. I believe that you're here because you want to dive deeper into relationships and you want to uncover the powerful transformation, the self-growth that you get, and what you can contribute to people when you have those deep relationships. So think about this. If you're low in any of these areas, let's say that you're not very delighted, how is this gonna work? Not so great. If you're not feeling like you're having fun with your partner, but you have shared vision, you have dependability, you can trust them, and you're attracted to them, but you're just not really delighted by them, that's gonna take its toll on your relationship. If you no longer desire your partner, but they're dependable, you have fun with them, and you have a common vision, you could still stay with that person for a really long time, but you're gonna wanna fill this desire back up so you can actually feel the juice and the intensity and the passion. So knowing where you're at in this is so powerful. And I want you to think about a relationship that you've been in the past or one you're currently in, right? Think about where you were with desire. How much did you desire the person? In the beginning, I'll tell you, it's probably pretty high, right? Because that's what drives this. So your desire might have been really high in the beginning, unless you started out as friends. But even then, you desired to be friends with this person for a reason. You either loved your deep conversations, you loved that they were there for you maybe when you went through a breakup. So desire is usually pretty intense for all of the areas to even happen to begin with. Because if we don't desire to hang out with somebody, if we don't desire to be in their presence, then we're not going to really be around them too much. At some point, they delighted you. You had fun with them. You enjoyed being around them. A lot of times, delight can happen even when dependability isn't happening. Now, of course, you need them to show up for you to some extent. And if this is not filled, if this is not going so well, if you're not pretty high on the dependability area, then the delight is going to start going down too. And that's what you'll notice with all of these areas. If any one of these areas is low, it's going to start to affect the others. So ideally, we really want to strengthen these areas. If you're not in this X in all of these areas, those are the areas you want to work on. If you're not feeling like you have a shared vision, for instance, you need to get on track with that. And that can be one of the hardest areas to get on track if the person is just dead set against kids and you really want to have kids. And let's say that you're a woman and your biological clock is ticking. You're going to want to be very honest with yourself about where you're headed, the reality of that situation. Now that's one of the more deep, extreme cases. But when it comes to dependability, for instance, a movie that comes to mind, which is so interesting, is Mrs. Doubtfire. It's a great example, actually, for dependability. Because if you look at Mrs. Doubtfire, Robin Williams' character was not dependable. So therefore, his dependability was very low because he was always playing around. He was delightful. The kids loved being around him. And, he had a shared vision. He was trying to move his career in a certain direction. Like, he wanted to be successful. He wanted to raise his kids in the best way possible. They had a few different ideas about how that would be done, but they also found themselves very attracted to each other in the beginning. But because of the dependability issue, it caused that to wane. So Robin Williams becomes Mrs. Doubtfire, becomes super dependable, and then it starts to fill in some of these areas. And then Sally Field's character was kind of questioning, like, whoa, this Mrs. Doubtfire is amazing. Like, wait. And then when she finds out it's Robin Williams, she's like kind of having a moment of pause. Ultimately, it doesn't work out. But that dependability, had that been there in the beginning, maybe they would have stayed together. So it's very important to express our needs to our partners and say, what do you need from me? All right, now that we have filled this out based on how we feel about our partner, I want us to imagine how our partner might be feeling about us. Come over here. All right, so we're gonna do this a little different now, okay? So when you think about your partner, you can ask your partner, if you're currently in a relationship and you think that they'd be open to this, ask them. Ask them where you think we're at. Like, how delightful am I to you?
How desired am I to you? And this can be hard to ask, this one in particular. A lot of people really struggle with that. Dependable. How dependable do you think I am? How much do we line up with our goals and our vision for the future, our dreams? Not only are you going to ask your partner, how desirable are you? You're going to ask for ways that you can increase that for them, right? You're going to ask for how you can delight them more, how you can show up for them more and be more dependable. Get on the same page with your dreams. Maybe you've never even talked about your goals. So many couples that I talk to, they have a few goals and they think their partner knows what they want for the future, but they don't really talk about it. They don't sit down at a table one night, put on some nice music and just dreamscape. Think about all those things that they desire out of life, all those things that are going to bring them juice and make them really passionate and fired up. Can we build this up so that we can strengthen each other to where we do have that deep connection that's going to stand the test of time? And if the answer is no in any of those areas, really, you got to be honest with yourself. If you're not going to have the shared vision, then somebody is going to settle, somebody's going to have to compromise, and you have to be honest with yourself. Are you willing to do that? If you can't increase the desirability, that's going to have to be something that you both come to terms with. And for me, I don't ever want to settle in a relationship. I don't want to settle in my friendships. I don't want to settle in any business relationship, nothing. I'm always seeking to make the best possible outcomes. And I'm not saying it'll be perfect. I mean, relationships are messy. Life is messy, okay? None of this is perfect. And even in my relationships, there's areas where I still gotta work. There's times when I'm not super dependable because I don't always like to have a really strict schedule. I mean, obviously with my clients and with my work, yes, but with my friendships, sometimes I just wanna be spontaneous. When I have a weekend off, I actually just wanna take the time to do what feels right intuitively. That doesn't work for a lot of people, so they don't think of me as dependable when that's how I live my life, and that's what I choose for myself. But that is my dream. That is my vision for my future and my life. And I respect their vision for their future and their life. So sometimes those friendships might not work out. It's just a fact of life. But at least we can look at this and we can go, you're not a bad person for feeling the way you do and wanting somebody that's going to say, every other weekend, we're going to spend it together, we're going to go here, we're going to do that. There are people out there like that, and that's okay. But I'm just not one of them. So that just is an incompatible relationship. Now, if they can be somebody that adjusts to how I live my life and I can, respect them for how they want to live their life and we can find mutual ground, great. But when it comes to relationships, you want all of these things to flow. Because the most important relationship you will ever have in your life is the one you have with yourself. So it's very important that you know yourself, know what your vision is, know what delights you, know what dependability looks like for you, and know what you desire. What are your needs? What are your likes? What are your interests? What are your, turn-ons? You want to know all that stuff. And that's a part of really getting in touch with who you are on a deep level, right? So when you know those answers, it's easier if you're just going on a first date to spot, hey, we don't line up in this area, we don't line up in this area or this area or this area. It doesn't matter. But to know that going into it and not get swirled into it, not get caught in a relationship that isn't right for you, that will save you time, energy. And as you understand this, it becomes very easy to navigate the dating world. X marks the spot. So when you got that in harmony, you have hit the sweet spot. That is gonna feel like divine love. That is gonna feel like out of this world. And the reason why is because it's multidimensional love. It is out of this world. It's not lustful. It's not lover. It's not just a partner or a friend. It is depth. And it can be all of those things. It can be a partnership. It can be a friendship. It could be a romantic relationship. It could be all kinds of things. But it's deep. It's meaningful. And that means it's going to endure. It's going to be a great love of your life, no matter what happens. Those people that hit this sweet spot, those are the people that are going to be the most important people in your life.
I really just want to encourage you now to apply it to yourself. See how you line up with some of the relationships that are in your life. And you'll be able to spot the red flags. You'll be able to get into relationships that are healthy for you. You'll be a healthy person entering in the relationship, and they will be too. Because if it wasn't aligned within this, you'll now know that, hey, if it's not aligned, if it's not an X marks the spot, then it's not going to be a deep, meaningful connection. It's going to be a little bit shallow in some area, or it's not going to line up. And because it's not aligned, it's not right for me. And your gut knows this, your intuition almost always knows this. That's why we get into relationships sometimes and we go, I knew better. Why didn't I listen to my gut? Well, this makes it so practical. So it's not just your heart telling you, something's wrong, or your intuition, yeah, not the relationship for you. It's not just that, it's actually even more powerful because now you're embarking into the journey of the mind. You're able to see a formula that has been constructed for you to help you really get a grip and do what's right for you. So if this has been helpful, I would love to hear from you. I would love to hear anything that you want to share, any breakthroughs that you've gone through this process, or if you'd like to work one-on-one with myself or another coach, I would love to help you out. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon.